Stop what you're doing right now. I need you to hear me. Not because you searched for this video, not because the algorithm placed it in front of your eyes by accident. I need you to understand something before we go any further. You were brought here. There are things being done against you in secret, in rooms you were never invited into, by hands you may have trusted, and heaven has decided that today is the day you find out. A paper was signed, a document, an agreement made in the dark behind closed doors with one purpose: to remove you, to take from you what is yours, to cut you off from your future, your inheritance, your place, your name. She believed you would never find out. She believed the signature would stand. She believed the plan would work, but she forgot one thing. She forgot that I see everything. And I sent Archangel Michael, the commander of my heavenly armies, the warrior who stands at the gates of destiny. I sent him not to warn her. I sent him to warn you, because you are the one I am protecting. You are the one whose future she tried to erase. And you are the one sitting here right now, heart pounding, because something deep inside you already knew. Something in your spirit has been unsettled for days, weeks maybe. You could not name it, you could not explain it, but you felt it, the weight of a decision being made somewhere you could not see. Today, that changes. Can I ask you something? Have you felt like people around you were moving against you and you could not prove it? Have you sensed a shift in the atmosphere of your life, relationships that turned cold, doors that closed without explanation? Opportunities that seemed to dissolve before you could reach them. Have you prayed and wondered if anyone in heaven was paying attention? I am paying attention. I have always been paying attention. And what I am about to show you in this video is not a sermon. It is not a motivational message. It is an interception. A divine interception of a secret plan, and the revelation of everything that plan cannot do to you, because I have already moved on your behalf. Archangel Michael is standing over your life right now. His sword is drawn. The paper she signed, every word of it, is already under review in the courts of heaven. And by the time this video is finished, you will know exactly why that document will never define your future. Type in the comments right now, I am not supposed to see this, but God showed me. And before we go into the first chapter, if this message is already speaking to something in your spirit, take 2 seconds right now. Hit the like button on this video. And if you are not yet subscribed to this channel, subscribe right now and turn on the bell notification, because the messages I am releasing through this channel are not coincidences. They are appointments, and I do not want you to miss a single one. Now, let us begin. My dear daughter, there is a moment in every battle when the enemy overplays his hand, when the scheme that was supposed to stay hidden gets exposed, when the darkness that counted on your ignorance suddenly finds itself standing in the middle of my light, with nowhere to run and nothing left to hide behind. That moment is right now, for you, today. I want you to understand something about how the enemy operates. He does not come at you with a sword drawn in the open. He does not announce his plans. He is a strategist of shadows. He moves in whispers, in signatures, in secret conversations that happen just outside the range of what you can hear. He uses people, real people, people who sit across from you at dinner tables, people who have your phone number, people who smile to your face, and then, when you turn around, pick up a pen and sign their name to a document designed to dismantle your life. She thought you would never find out. She calculated the whole thing. She thought about timing, when you would be distracted, when you would be vulnerable, when the legal or spiritual or relational framework would be in place for her signature to carry maximum damage. She did not rush. The enemy rarely rushes. He is patient in his evil. And she moved carefully, quietly, with purpose, signing her name to something that was designed to cut the ground out from beneath you. But here is what she did not know. Here is what no one who operates in darkness ever fully accounts for. I am in the room. I am always in the room. Every meeting that was held about your future without your knowledge, I was there. Every whispered conversation about how to handle you, how to remove you, how to replace you, I heard every word, every document that was drafted, every line that was written, every place where ink was put to paper with your name attached to the consequence. I saw it the moment it happened, and I was not alarmed. I want you to hear that. I was not alarmed, because nothing that happens in secret is a surprise to me. The enemy operates in darkness because he knows I operate in light. He thought darkness was his protection. He did not understand that light travels faster, sees further, and reaches places darkness can never follow. The moment that paper was signed, heaven moved. I want you to see this with the eyes of your spirit. I want you to close your eyes for just a moment and picture this. A room somewhere. Maybe a lawyer's office. Maybe a bedroom. Maybe a corporate conference room. Maybe a kitchen table at night when the house was quiet. She sat down. She had the document in front of her. She picked up the pen. And just as her hand moved toward the signature line, something shifted in the spiritual atmosphere around your life that you never even noticed. But the angels did. Archangel Michael turned. He was already in position over your life. But in that moment, the moment the ink touched the paper, he turned with the full attention of a warrior who has been watching a battlefield for exactly this kind of move. He saw it, he noted it, and immediately a scroll was opened in the courts of heaven, because what is done against my children in secret does not disappear into silence. It enters into record. It becomes evidence. And evidence in my courts always works in favor of the one who was wronged. That paper she signed, it became a witness against her the moment it was completed. And you, sitting here right now, you who have been confused and unsettled and wondering why your life has felt like it was moving through resistance you could not name. You're about to watch that document become the very thing that undoes the plan behind it. Because when the enemy commits his schemes to paper, he leaves a trail, and I follow every trail. I need you to feel the weight of this. You are not powerless. You are not uninformed. You were not abandoned in the dark while she made her move. You were being watched over, covered, and positioned for the moment of revelation, which is this moment right now. Place your hand over your heart right now and say this out loud. I was not left in the dark. God saw everything, and I am protected. Say it again with conviction. Let those words go into your own ears, because faith comes by hearing, and I need your faith activated for what I am about to show you next. The paper was signed. That is true, but a paper signed by a human being with the help of darkness is not the final word. The final word belongs to me, and my word, unlike hers, does not fade, does not expire, and does not bend under pressure. In the next chapter, I am going to show you who she is in the spirit, not just as a person, but as a vessel being used by a force that has been targeting you for longer than you realize. Because to understand the plan, you have to understand the one who agreed to carry it out. And once you see it, you will not be afraid of her anymore. You will only be in awe of how precisely I have positioned you for your deliverance. Type in the comments, the paper was signed, but God saw it. My dear son, I want to speak to you now about something that requires spiritual maturity to receive, because what I am about to reveal to you is not designed to fill you with hatred toward another person. It is designed to fill you with clarity. And clarity is one of the most powerful weapons I can put in your hands. She's not simply a woman who made a bad decision. She is not merely someone who acted selfishly or competitively or out of ordinary human jealousy. What moved through her when she signed that document was something older than her grievance, something darker than her ambition. There is a spirit at work here, And I need you to see it, because when you understand the nature of what you are truly dealing with, you stop fighting the person and you start standing against the spirit. And standing against the spirit is where I have equipped you to win. Here is what happened. At some point, and you may not be able to pinpoint exactly when, she made an agreement. Not a written agreement, not a formal one, but a spiritual agreement. The kind that happens when a person's bitterness or pride or fear or greed opens a door in their soul and something steps through it. Something that had been watching your life. Something that had studied your destiny, your relationships, your resources, your future, and identified you as a threat. Because that is what you are. You are a threat to darkness. You have always been a threat to darkness. The enemy does not assign high-level schemes to people who do not matter. He does not invest strategic planning into removing people who pose no risk to his territory. The very fact that a paper was signed against you, the very fact that someone was moved to take formal, deliberate, covert action to remove you from your place, is evidence that your place is significant. Your presence matters. What you carry in your spirit is dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. And rather than confront you directly, the enemy found someone willing to be used, someone whose unhealed wounds made her accessible to his influence, and he handed her a pen. I am not telling you this to make you feel superior to her. I am telling you this so you can pray for her with the right understanding. She is not your greatest enemy. She is someone who was deceived into becoming a tool. The real enemy is the one who whispered in her ear, who fed her resentment, who painted a picture of your removal as a solution to her problem. That is who Archangel Michael is standing against. Not her, but the force that moved through her. Now, why you? Why has this spirit targeted you specifically? Because of what is coming in your future. There are blessings assigned to your name that have not yet arrived. There are doors that have not yet opened. There are relationships, provisions, positions, and inheritances that are moving toward you right now. And darkness can see the trajectory of your life more clearly in certain ways than you can. Because the enemy watches timelines with the specific purpose of identifying moments of breakthrough and creating interference before they arrive. The paper was not really about the past. It was about the future. She was not just trying to deal with who you are today. She, or rather the spirit operating through her, was trying to cut you off before the breakthrough arrived, before the blessing landed, before the doors opened. It was a preemptive strike, an attempt to disqualify you before the season of promotion could begin. And it failed. Not because of anything you did, not because you were smart enough to detect it, or strong enough to stop it, or well-connected enough to have someone warn you. It failed because I intervened, because before she even knew she was being used, I had already stationed Archangel Michael in position. Before the pen hit the paper, heaven had already begun the legal process of nullifying what was about to be signed. I want you to sit with something for a moment. She thought she was acting against you. She thought the power was in her hands. But the entire time, she was unknowingly walking into a divine setup, a moment that I orchestrated to expose the scheme, reveal the enemy's interest in your life, and give you the spiritual authority to stand firm in the face of every future attack. You are not a victim of this situation. You are the one I am promoting through it. Say this out loud right now, wherever you are. I am not a victim, I am promoted. What was meant to remove me is the proof of what God is moving me into. I need you to say that like you believe it, because it is true. The intensity of the attack is always proportional to the significance of the season ahead. And this attack was significant, which means what is coming on the other side of it is extraordinary. In the next chapter, I am going to show you what Archangel Michael did the moment he took his position over your life. I'm going to show you what happened in the spirit realm at the exact moment the attack was launched. And you are going to understand, in a way you never have before, just how comprehensively you are being covered. My dear daughter, I want to take you somewhere right now. I want to take you to the moment, the exact moment, when Archangel Michael moved. It was not slow, it was not gentle, it was not the quiet movement of a counselor offering measured advice. When Michael moves, the atmosphere changes. When Michael takes position, the spirit realm responds the way the earth responds to thunder. Everything that was moving in one direction suddenly stops and recalibrates, because there is a new presence in the space, and that presence carries authority that darkness has never been able to match and never will. Here is what happened over your life. The moment that paper was signed, the moment the enemy believed his plan was secured, the moment she put down the pen and felt the satisfaction of someone who believes she has just won. I released Michael, not with a whisper, with a command that rang through the heavens like a trumpet, because I do not send Michael quietly. I send him with the full weight of my authority behind every step he takes. He descended over your life like a shield of light so vast and so dense that nothing beneath it could move without his awareness. Every dark assignment that had been set in motion against you, every spiritual directive that had been given to dismantle your peace, your finances, your relationships, your health, your future, Michael came into contact with it. And I want you to understand what it means when Michael makes contact with a dark assignment. It stops, not slows down, not loses momentum. It stops. Because Michael does not negotiate with darkness. He does not meet it halfway. He carries the full legal authority of my throne, and when he applies that authority to a scheme that was crafted against one of my children, the scheme encounters something it was never designed to withstand. The judgment of heaven. I want you to picture your home right now. Picture the walls of your house, the roof, the doors, the windows. Now picture those walls wrapped in fire. Not destructive fire, not dangerous fire, but the fire of my presence, the fire of angelic covering so thick and so alive that no spiritual weapon formed against your household can penetrate it. That is what Michael brought with him when he descended over your life. A wall of fire between you and everything that paper was designed to release. Your children are inside that wall of fire. Your name is covered by it. Your finances, your health, your relationships, everything that the enemy targeted when he moved that woman's hand, every single thing he was after, is surrounded right now by an angelic covering that he does not have the authority to breach. And I want you to understand something about the courts of heaven. When a paper is signed against you in the natural realm, it carries weight in the natural realm. But it must also be processed in the spiritual realm, because every legal action that happens on earth has a spiritual counterpart. She may have signed a document in a room somewhere on this earth. But that document also landed on a table in the courts of heaven. And in my courts, Michael serves as the commander who stands on behalf of my children and challenges every verdict that was reached without my authority. He challenged it. The moment the document arrived in the spiritual courts, Michael stood up, and he did not stand up with arguments. He stood up with evidence, the record of your life, the covenant I made with you the moment you surrendered your heart to me, the promises I spoke over you before you were born, the assignments I placed on your destiny before your mother knew she was carrying you. He laid every piece of that evidence before my throne, and the verdict that she thought she had secured began to unravel. Because here is the thing about my courts that the enemy always miscalculates. He can file a case against you, but he cannot manufacture evidence against a life that is covered by my covenant, and your life is covered by my covenant. Right now, I want you to place both hands on your chest, over your heart, and I want you to feel the beating of the life I put inside you. Feel it. That heartbeat is covenant. That heartbeat is proof that I am not finished with you. Every beat says, not yet, not finished, not removed, not cancelled, not disqualified. Every beat is my answer to the paper she signed. Say this right now, with both hands on your heart. I am covered. I am defended. Michael stands over my life, and no verdict formed against me shall stand. Feel that declaration leave your lips and enter the atmosphere around you. Because declarations made by my children are not just words, they are spiritual agreements. And when you agree with what I have already done on your behalf, you activate in the natural realm what I have already completed in the spiritual realm. Type in the comments, Michael stands over my life. And if this message is reaching into places in your spirit that you have not been able to find words for, if you have been carrying a heaviness that you could not explain, and this video is beginning to give that heaviness a name, please right now hit the like button and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Someone in your family, someone in your circle, someone who has been feeling the weight of unseen opposition and does not know yet that heaven has already moved on their behalf. Now, in the next chapter, I am going to show you the boundary lines that her paper cannot cross. Because there are things in your life that are beyond the reach of any human document, any human decision, any human plan to remove you. And I need you to know exactly where those lines are drawn. My dear son, I need you to understand something that is going to change the way you see everything that has been happening. There are limits to what can be done against you. Not because the enemy is merciful, he is not. Not because she does not have the intention to cause maximum damage, she may, but because I have drawn lines around your life, and those lines are not made of paper or law or human agreement. They are made of my word, and my word does not break. Let me be specific with you. I am not speaking in generalities here. I am going to name what that paper cannot touch. It cannot touch your calling. The calling I placed on your life before you were born was not registered in any earthly system. It was written into your design, into the way your mind works, into the gifts that operate through you even when you are not trying, into the hunger in your heart for things that are greater than what you can currently see. No signature can erase a calling. No legal document can terminate a divine assignment. She can sign her name in ink 1,000 times on 1,000 different papers, and the calling on your life will still be there the morning after every one of them, because the calling did not come from her. It came from me, and I do not revoke the calling. It cannot touch your children. If you are a parent, if you have children who are part of the future she was trying to cut off, hear me clearly. They are not on that paper. They are not subject to that verdict. I have angels assigned specifically to your children, not because of who you are, but because of whose they are. They belong to me. And no scheme that moves against you can reach through the covering I have placed over the next generation in your family line. What I have sealed in the spirit over your children is beyond the jurisdiction of any document signed in the dark. It cannot touch your finances. I know that may be the very thing you are worried about. I know that when you think about what she was trying to do, the financial dimension of it feels like a knife at your throat. I know what your bills look like. I know what your account balance has been. I know the anxiety that wakes you up at 3 in the morning when the house is quiet and the numbers run through your head and the fear says, what if she wins? What if I lose everything? I'm speaking directly into that fear right now and telling you the paper cannot reach your provision. My supply line to your life does not run through her. It runs through heaven, and heaven has not been rerouted. The blessing is still moving toward you. The overflow is still assigned to your name. The financial turnaround you have been waiting for was not cancelled by her signature. It was delayed slightly, the way a river is delayed when someone puts a hand in the water, but the river does not stop. The water finds its way, and it is finding its way to you now. It cannot touch your peace. This is the one I want you to receive most deeply, because she, or the Spirit working through her, wanted more than to take your resources or your position or your relationships. The deepest goal of any attack against my children is to take their peace, to make them spend their days in anxiety, in suspicion, in dread, to make them live with the shadow of the scheme over their heads, even after the scheme itself has been neutralized. I am telling you now, receive your peace, not the peace that the world gives, which is the peace that comes when everything is resolved and the circumstances are perfect. I am giving you the peace that passes understanding, the peace that stands in the middle of unresolved circumstances and says, God is in this. God saw this. God moved before I even knew it was happening. I can rest. Let that peace land on you right now. Let it come down over your shoulders like a warm weight. Let your jaw unclench. Let your chest open. Let the breath come all the way in. You are covered. You are defended. You are at peace, not because nothing happened, but because the one who never sleeps and never slumbers has been awake over your situation every moment you were not. Say this right now. Peace belongs to me. My calling is untouchable. My children are covered. My finances are in God's hands. What was signed against me has no authority over what God has signed for me. Let those words settle into your spirit. Let them become the foundation of how you walk through the next season of your life, not in fear of what she signed, but in confidence of what I signed first, before you were ever born. In the next chapter, I'm going to show you something that is going to shift the entire way you see this situation, because what I am about to reveal is not just about what the paper cannot do. It is about what I am about to do with the very attack that was designed to remove you. My dear daughter, I am the God of reversals. That is not a metaphor. That is a pattern that runs through all of human history, through every story in my word, through every life that has ever surrendered to me in the middle of darkness and chosen to trust that I am working. Joseph was thrown in a pit and ended up ruling a nation. Esther was an orphan and ended up saving her people. David was overlooked and ended up anointed. The reversal is not an exception in my kingdom. The reversal is the method. And I need you to understand, what I am about to do with what was done against you is not just going to restore you to where you were before the attack. That is not how I operate. I do not simply undo damage and return you to neutral. When I move in reversal, I move in overflow, I move in abundance, I move in a way that makes the original plan of the enemy look so foolish, so catastrophically miscalculated, that even the darkness is forced to witness the evidence of its own defeat. She signed that paper to remove you, but I am going to use that paper to promote you. Let me show you how. Right now, in the spirit realm, the document she signed has been intercepted and reframed. What she intended as an instrument of your removal is being processed in the courts of heaven as evidence of the attack, evidence of the enemy's interest in your life, and evidence of the covenant that covers you. And in my courts, evidence of a covenant attack does not just result in protection, it results in restitution. When an enemy attacks one of my covenant children, the law of my kingdom demands restoration, not just restoration of what was targeted, but restoration with interest, with overflow, with the weight of heaven behind it, moving everything that was scattered back to its rightful place and then adding to it. I want to be specific with you. Think about the thing you were afraid of losing, the position, the relationship, the opportunity, the resource, the reputation, the role in your family, your community, your workplace. Think about the specific thing she was trying to take from you when she signed that paper. Now hear me, it is coming back, not in the same form, in a greater form. Because what I restore better than the original. This is the economy of my kingdom. When the enemy steals and I return what was stolen, it comes back multiplied. Not as a compensation for what you suffered, not as an apology for what you endured, but as a declaration to every force in the spiritual realm that you are not just surviving, you are advancing. That the attack did not slow you down. It activated your promotion. I want you to see the picture I am seeing right now as I look at your life. I see the road ahead of you. I see the next 6 months, the next year, the next 3 years. And on that road, I see doors that were being held shut by the spirit that moved through her. Not locked doors, not sealed doors, but doors that were being actively held closed by an oppositional force that was terrified of what you would walk into if they opened. Michael has already taken position at those doors, and one by one, they are opening. The financial door, the opportunity door, the relational door, the health door, the ministry or purpose door, the door that opens into the fullness of why I created you. They are opening, not slowly, not reluctantly. They are swinging open with the speed of a heaven that has been waiting for this exact moment. The moment when the enemy's plan is fully exposed and my response can move without resistance. Stand up right now if you can. And if you cannot stand, lean forward and say this with everything in you. The reversal is already written. What was meant to remove me is activating my promotion. I receive the overflow. I receive the restoration. I receive everything that was held back. It is coming now. Say that again, louder. Let it fill the room you are in. Let it go into the walls of your house and into the atmosphere over your life. Because when my children declare my word with faith, something happens in the spiritual realm that cannot be undone. The agreement between heaven and your voice creates a pathway for the blessing to travel. And I want that pathway wide open and fully activated. Type in the comments, "The reversal is already written for me." My dear son, I want to tell you something that I need you to carry for the rest of your life. Not just through this situation, not just through this season. For the rest of the days that I give you on this earth, I need this truth to be embedded so deeply in your identity that no paper, no signature, no scheme, no person, no voice, no accusation, no verdict, no failure, and no attack can ever shake it loose. Your name was never removed from the book. Before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you. Before you took your first breath, your name was already written. Not in pencil, not in ink that fades or paper that burns or a record that can be deleted or overwritten. Your name is written in something eternal, in a record that exists outside of time, that no human hand has ever touched and no enemy force has ever had access to. She signed a paper. Let me tell you what kind of paper that is. It is a temporary document in a temporary system managed by temporary people on a temporary earth. Her signature has an expiration date. Her authority has limits. Her reach extends only as far as the earthly systems she operates within. But the book where your name is written has no expiration date, no system limitations, no earthly authority over it at all. It stands in the courts of eternity, under the seal of my throne, covered by the blood of my Son, secured by a covenant that is older than creation itself. She cannot reach that book. She never could. And I want you to understand what this means practically, because I am not just speaking theology to you right now. I'm speaking about the specific fears that have been keeping you up at night. The fear that this situation could permanently alter your identity. The fear that what she did could define how people see you from this point forward. The fear that the version of you she tried to create through her signature, the removed version, the diminished version, the version without standing or position or voice, could become the version that sticks. It cannot become the version that sticks because that version of you does not exist in the book. The version that exists in the book is the one I wrote, chosen before birth, anointed before time, called by name, sealed in covenant, destined for impact that outlasts any attempt to silence it. I want to show you something else. In the book where your name is written, there is more than just your name. There are pages dedicated to your specific life, and on those pages are things that have not happened yet. There are entries on those pages for blessings that are still in transit. There are dates that have not arrived yet, written next to promises that will be fulfilled with a precision that will take your breath away. There are relationships described that you have not yet formed, resources you have not yet received, assignments you have not yet walked into, moments of joy and vindication and awe that are so specifically yours that when they arrive, you will recognize them immediately, and you will know that they were written before you were born. She did not read those pages. She could not. And so when she signed her paper, she was signing something that had no knowledge of what was ahead of you. She was making a calculation based on the visible, the current, the natural, without any access to what I have already written over your future. She made a move on an incomplete board. And the pieces she did not know about, the pieces I have been positioning while she was not looking, those are the pieces that are about to determine the outcome of this game. You are not losing. You were never losing. The score she thought she saw was never the real score. Right now, in this moment, I want you to receive something. Receive your identity back. Maybe you have been carrying the weight of what she did, as if it had the power to tell you who you are. Maybe her signature made you feel small or diminished or questionable in some way. Receive your identity back right now. Every piece of it. The confidence, the dignity, the sense of divine purpose, the knowledge that you are seen, named, valued, and specifically designed for something that has not yet been fully revealed. Take all of it back. It was never hers to take in the first place. Place your hand on your chest and say, "My name has never been removed. I am known by God. I am written in the eternal book. No paper, no signature, no scheme has ever touched my name in heaven." Say it, mean it. Let it become the most settled thing in your spirit. And as we move into the final chapter, the chapter where everything culminates, I need you to be standing on this foundation. Because what I am about to release over your life in the final declaration requires a person who knows who they are. It requires someone who has received their identity back, who has accepted the reversal, who has stood under the cover of Michael's wings, who has seen the paper for what it is, and who is now ready to receive with open hands everything that the enemy tried to prevent. My dear daughter, this is the chapter that everything else was building toward. Every revelation in this video, every truth I have spoken over your life, every moment of clarity and comfort and activation, it was all preparation for this. Because restoration is not just a concept I want you to believe in abstractly. Restoration is a specific, tangible, timed event. And I am telling you that the timing is now. Today marks a turning point in the spiritual timeline over your life. Not tomorrow. Not when the legal situation resolves. Not when the relationship is repaired. Not when the finances stabilize. Not when you feel ready or worthy or prepared. Today. This moment. The moment you are hearing my voice through this video and choosing to receive what I am saying. This is the moment the restoration begins to move in your life with a momentum that nothing and no one can stop. Let me tell you what full restoration looks like. Not partial restoration, not recovery that leaves you at 70% of where you were. Full restoration. The kind that leaves nothing behind. The kind that reaches back through every year this spirit has been working against you. Not just this recent attack, but the accumulation of every stolen thing, every delayed blessing, every door that was held shut, every relationship that was damaged by the enemy's interference, every financial breakthrough that was intercepted, every opportunity that dissolved before you could take hold of it. All of it is on the table now. I'm not just addressing what she signed last month or last year. I'm addressing the full scope of what darkness has attempted to do with your life. And today, the full scope of my restoration is being released. I see your finances right now. I see the numbers that have caused you anxiety. I see the debt that has felt immovable, the income that has felt insufficient, the dreams that have felt financially out of reach. And I am speaking to the financial atmosphere over your life with the voice that spoke light into darkness at the beginning of creation. I am speaking increase, overflow, unexpected provision, divine supply chains that do not originate in any system she has access to, money coming from directions you have not anticipated, favor in transactions you have not yet entered into, generosity flowing from people who have no natural reason to bless you, but who I will move on your behalf. The financial restoration is activated. I see your relationships, the ones that were damaged by the spirit that moved through her, the ones that were poisoned by whispers and rumors and the quiet sabotage of a plan designed to isolate you. I am restoring those relationships. Not all of them. Some of them were pruned by my design because the person was never truly aligned with your destiny. But the ones I designed for your life, the covenant friendships, the family connections that were strained, the partnerships that were disrupted, those are being restored. And the ones that are restored will be stronger than they were before because they will have been tested by fire and proven genuine. I see your body. I know what has been happening in your health. I know the symptoms you have been carrying that you have not told anyone about. I know the fatigue, the pain, the worry about what it might mean. I am releasing healing into your body right now. From the top of your head to the soles of your feet, I am commanding restoration in every system, every organ, every cell that has been under attack. Health is part of your inheritance. And the enemy who came against your life does not get to take your body while Michael stands guard over you. I see your purpose, the calling that has felt distant, the assignment that has felt impossible, the sense of destiny that has been buried under the weight of this attack. I'm bringing that back to the surface. The gifts are still inside you. The anointing has not lifted. The assignment has not been transferred to someone else. What I called you to do when I wrote your name in the book, that has not changed. And in this season of restoration, the purpose is going to become clearer, stronger, more confirmed than ever before. Doors will open that will leave no room for doubt about what I created you for. Now, I want you to stand in this moment and receive. Not ask for, receive, because asking is for people who do not yet know that the answer has already been given. And you now know. You have seen the intercept. You have seen Michael's position. You have heard the verdict of my courts. You have held your name in your hands and recognized it as eternal. You have nothing left to do but open your hands and receive.